Good morning, everyone. I see we are Queens tough. We are out here, rain or shine. So my understanding is we have a little window. I'm Melinda Katz, by the way. I'm the district attorney. Nice to meet all of you. But I understand we have a small window until it may rain again. So we are going to get the show on the road. I'm going to call up Francis Lewis High School, ROTC, once again doing the color guard for us. Please present the colors.
Colors, all attention. Forward, march. Mark time, march. Colors, hold. Left, face. Present, arms.
May I ask United States Army veteran Specialist 4th Class Sebastian D'Agostino to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, I will do that, but I will not sing. So we have Lauren Wilkes, who is going to be doing the national anthem. Lauren, what school are you from?
Cornell University.
You're from Cornell?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And that's why I don't sing anymore. Thank you very much.
Right, face. Order, colors. Four. Arms. Forward, march.
May I call upon Bajari Mr. Harakrishna Joshi of the BAPS Swaminarayan, Mandir in Flushing. Mandir, please. Thank you.
Good.
Could you say your name properly? So
Yeah,
that
yes.
everyone knows
Yeah,
you?
okay. This Vedic prayer. Harihi Om Dyoh Shantirantarikshago Shantihi Prithavi Shantirapah Shantirokhadayah Shantihi Vanaspatayah Shantirvishve Devaha शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगो शान्तिरेव शान्तिः श्यामा शान्तिरेधि जतो यतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु सन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः पशुभ्यः विश्वानि देव सवितदुरितानि परासुव जद्भद्रन्तन्न आशुव ॐ शान्तिः 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 सुशान्तिर्भवतु सर्वारिष्टशान्तिर्भवतु prayer is meaning on to heaven be peace, on to the sky and the earth be peace, peace be unto the water, on to the herbs and trees be peace, on to all the gods be peace, on to Brahma and on to all be peace, and may we realize that peace. Om, peace, 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 peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. So, good morning, everyone. Today's a special day. Not only do we have our honorees, we are also honoring the former Deputy Commissioner of Veterans and former council member Paul Vallone, who did so much for veterans' rights here in the city. I do want to thank, because I know he's probably going to have to get back to court at some point, Judge Vallone for joining us, the councilman's brother, who's also a judge, and he has an active caseload. So I want to thank him. But we are going to continue on with the program. On behalf of my executive staff and my staff, I see Jen Nyberg, Chief Assistant, is here. I see Chief Lapala, my Chief in Detective Investigators. I see Peshoy Yacob, who is the executive over felony trials. Colleen Babb, who organizes all of these events, is the executive over community engagement. I think I'm good on the executives. I know there's a lot of bureau chiefs here, and I appreciate that. And the only one I recognize immediately is Joe Connolly, also a veteran, I think on still active. No, not, yeah, he's still active. He is the Bureau Chief of Frauds. So welcome, everyone. We express our gratitude every Memorial Day, as you know, to honor the men and women who have served and who are no longer with us. Brave servicemen who sacrificed, or service members who sacrificed their lives so that I can put my 2 children to bed every night knowing that this country is safe. And so I always like, as you know, because you've been here many years now, to say a special salute to those who are still serving around our world to make sure that our country is still safe. They are no longer with their families this year, and they are serving us, and we pray for their safety and make sure that everyone comes home. We're here in Keyspan Park because there is a wall that we started, Pat Toro of Vietnam started advocating for many years ago when I first became the assembly member. And years later, at the time that I was an assembly member, we had a commissioner who just didn't really believe in memorials in the parks, right? He just wasn't this memorial. It was just that he didn't believe in putting up statues and memorials in the parks. And that's okay, that happens. So years later, when I became the borough president, I said, hey, I'm the borough president, I can do that now. And so we did. All of you know, thank you. All of you know the story that we have listed those that have died in Queens. We have from Queens in the Vietnam War. We also have, as a memory, Pat Toro's name, who signifies those individuals who are still burdened with health issues from the wars. 2024 recognizes a lot of important anniversaries. June 6th, we commemorate the 80th anniversary of D-Day and Allied forces invasion of Normandy. This July 28th marks the 110th anniversary of the beginning of World War I. On a personal note, Dan put this in. Dan Brown, ladies and gentlemen. It is also my 30th anniversary in 2024, just so you know, of being an elected official. I value the relationships that I have built with the veterans community. I value the relationships that we continue to have. 30 years ago when I started, it was really the Vietnam veterans, and we all came up together and grew older together. I grew older. I don't know, a lot of you look the same, but I feel a lot older. But we were starting the chapter, the chapter 32, we're getting a site. I think it was in Maspeth first, then it switched over. And there was a lot of work to be done. But I remember the commitment 30 years ago of the veterans that said, no one will come home again not having an infrastructure of support, that we want to do that. And I know I tell the story every year. When I was a kid, I remember the Vietnam vets getting off the buses. I remember the way that they were welcomed home. So I say now, thank you for your service and welcome home. So I want to thank all of you for coming out. I have a very long speech that Dan wrote for me, which I'm not going to use. But I thank Dan for making this speech. But I will say that we owe our lives to our veterans. And, Paul Vallone, Councilman Vallone used to always say, then Deputy Commissioner, but he used to always say, we need to have the services in Queens County. And he and I and a bunch of others worked very closely to bring those services to Queensborough Hall, where we had the mayoral agency for Veterans Affairs. The same way, I don't think you should have to go to Manhattan for a lot of things. I don't think you should have to go to Manhattan to get served. So we did that at the time that I was borough president. And we continue the tradition and continue to be of service to you. That's what our job is to be of service to you. And maybe I'm getting a little nostalgic. It's 30 years for me. I'm a little nostalgic right now. And I look out and I see the faces of those that I started with. So I thank you for coming out today. It was pouring rain when all of you left your house. And you had faith that it would be okay. I don't know why, but you did. And I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank representatives from our Queens Veterans Center, Francisco Nazario. We have Betty Bratton, Community Board 10. Betty's been with me the whole 30 years. I think she's here longer than I am. Right? Yeah. Again, I've grown older. I don't know about you. Representative from Senator Adabo's office happens to be a former honoree, Sean McCabe, a former honoree of this veterans event. And of course, we have Tony Nunziato, president of the Juniper Park Civic Association, whose brother's name is on this wall. He died, he was killed in the Vietnam War. I also want to thank representatives from Councilwoman Palladino's office for being here. Next. How are you? Thank you. So the first honoree, we'd like to welcome Detective Michael Murphy, but I'm going to talk for a minute. So I'm just trying to solve that awkwardness that always happens when they're standing right here. So Michael Murphy served in the United States Air Force and the United States Air Force Reserve between June of 1988 and September of 2012. Michael achieved the rank of Technical Sergeant and his military service occupation Master Flight Engineer. Michael served America in support of Operation Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn, and Operation Enduring Freedom. Michael received numerous commendations during his career, including the Air Medal, the Air Force Commendation Medal, the Air Force Achievement Medal. And I have to tell you, sir, you have too many medals for me to list. So I'm going to say he got a lot of medals. And I have no doubt that they were well-deserved. Currently, what do they call you? Michael Murphy. Currently, the detective is employed at my office, the Queens DA's office. He is a senior rackets investigator within the DA's Detective Bureau. I'm very proud that we have so many veterans that work in the DA's office, and we do like to recognize those internally that have served their country. And so, Detective Murphy, please join me as I present to you the award for Veterans Affairs. Thank you. My pleasure. Please.
First of all, good morning, everybody. I want to thank all of you for being here today, and special thanks to the veterans who are actually here and served our country. I am pleased and grateful of accepting this honor for my own service to the country, and I'm equally honored to be part of the Queens DA family. I would like to personally thank DA Katz for all she's done, and I would like to thank my chiefs, Chief LaPala and Assistant Chief O'Brien, for their tutelage at the Queens DA's Detective Squad. I would also like to thank my family for all they've done throughout the years to actually keep me straight and narrow and make sure everything is good at home when I'm overseas serving our country. I hope you will join me in honoring the men and women who served and the men and women who did not make it home on this Memorial Day that are no longer with us. So thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.
It is quite important when our detective investigators bring the expertise of their lives to the office. You know, I don't know how many people know this, so I have an 85-person investigative team. They're all detective investigators. They're usually former NYPD, but not always, and a lot of them come up through the ranks as well. So I just want to thank the entire detective investigator squad that is here as well. Our second honoree is Sergeant Kathy Dean. I'd like to just say a few words about the sergeant, if I can. Kathy Dean served in the United States Army and achieved the rank of sergeant. Ms. Dean proudly served our nation as an active duty soldier, serving 2 periods of regular Army service. A skilled military member, she trained at Fort McClellan, Alabama. Charlie Company Cobras, I'm probably not saying this all correctly, but I'm trying. Company Cobras, 2nd Platoon, Training Battalion, and Fort Still, Oklahoma. Sea Battery, 1st Battalion, 19th Field Artillery, 1st. It's a lot. That's a lot, Ms. Dean. All right. Ms. Dean's first period of regular Army active service duty and military occupational specialty was as a 02J20 clarinet player. From 1980 to 86, she advanced in individual training at the School of Music Naval Base in Little Creek, Virginia, where she was stationed for 6 months. Her permanent duty stations were 1st Army Band in Fort Meade, Maryland, and 8th Army Band in Seoul, Korea, and 19th Army Band at Fort Dixon, New Jersey. Ms. Dean's second regular Army period was from 1999 to 2002. A global war on terrorism veteran, Ms. Dean was mobilized at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, on a post-quick reaction force on September 11th, 2001. Ms. Dean, along with many others, began to be mobilized to different parts of the military post. Ms. Dean also assisted the military police with post checkpoints. Even though she was in dangerous situations amid the uncertainty of the time, Ms. Dean performed her duties with honor and with vigilance. And, you know, it's with personal pride that I also honor Ms. Dean today. I don't know how many people here know this. My mother was in the USO of World War II, and although I know it is not the same thing because she was not in the armed services, my love of music and the importance of the work that you did, Ms. Dean, is not lost on any of us. Congratulations on today. Don't Don't knock it down.
Okay, I will. Okay, let me just bring this. Let me just put this here. Okay. Thank you, District Attorney Katz, Mr. Daniel Brown, and thank you all for being here. And I'm grateful to have this honor. I don't take it for granted. Just want to say a couple of things, won't take but a minute. The American public needs to be constantly reminded that roughly 8% of the population, or 8 in every 100 American citizens, has served in the military and is bearing the burden of the 99 to defend freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the safety and interests of our great country, and human rights has to be constantly defended and is never to be taken for granted. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am? Yeah, don't put it here. I keep knocking it down. Here, put it over here. Our next honoree, there's 2 more honorees, so the rain is holding up, and I'm very happy about that. The next and third honoree is Sergeant Harry McMahon. Harry McMahon received his draft notice on December 16, 1965. On January 13, 1966, he reported to Fort Gordon in Augusta, Georgia. Harry has had his advanced individual training at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri before he was assigned to the 15th Engineer Battalion, 9th Infantry Division at Fort Riley in Kansas. In September of 1966, his battalion was shipped to Vietnam. Later, he was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 47th Infantry, and participated in Operation Junction City, as well as Operation Akron. Harry McMahon was discharged October 12, 1967. In 1973, he joined the 19th Special Forces Group with the New York National Guard. In 75, he transferred to the 11th Special Forces Group before being discharged in 1977 after attaining the rank of sergeant. Sergeant McMahon, can you please come up here and accept an award on behalf of the people of Queens County? Congratulations to you. Thank you. I'm going to put this here. Don't not here. I'll put it there. Please, sir.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. It was a little iffy this morning. I'd like to just ask you to remember the 58,000 plus who paid the supreme sacrifice and the 500,000 or so Vietnam veterans that are left alive today. Thank you, and District Attorney Katz, thank you very, very much. I appreciate this.
Thank you for your service. So next we would like to honor Paul Vallone, Councilman Paul Vallone, Deputy Commissioner Paul Vallone, my friend. For this year, the Borough of Queens lost Paul. Those whose lives were touched by Paul experienced the loss of a community activist, an advocate, a public servant, a family member, and a true friend. His commitment to the service of others, including positions as the past president of Clinton Democratic Club and founding member of the Bayside Whitestone Lions Club, as well as board member Community Board 7 and board member of the New York City Board of Corrections. He was elected to the 19th Council District in 2014, served to 2021, included in the many efforts and initiatives led by the councilman were programs and resource provisions for students and for seniors and for law enforcement. After serving 2 full terms in the City Council, Councilman Vallone continued his service as Deputy Commissioner of Veterans Services. In this position, Paul worked tirelessly to ensure that the men and women who served our country had access to the benefits earned through their sacrifice. At the same time, Paul worked in the collaborative effort with DVS Commissioner Hendon and the entire staff to expand and improve on the opportunities, benefits, and services to our national heroes. Beyond his contribution in public service, Paul Vallone was a loving son to his mother Tina and father Peter Vallone Sr., a devoted husband to his wife Anne Marie, a dedicated father to Katina, Lee, and Charlie, and of course, a brother to his siblings Judge Vallone and Perry. And on a personal note, he was a great friend. So Paul and I were very good friends, and we used to have a lot of conversations that I really don't want to talk about now. And, new candidates would come on the horizon, new people would run, there were issues happening in his community. I mean, we talked a lot. And he was a protective guy of his community. He was a protective guy of his family. And, it's funny because we actually got into a tussle once a long time ago with someone. And, of course, I'm very shy, as you all know. And I got into something with someone, and he just marched right on in there and said, "What did you say? I didn't hear you correctly. What did you say?" Type of thing. And it was nothing, but it was a protectiveness that I saw. It was sweet, and it was his way of just standing up for his community. I didn't take it as standing up for me. I took it as his way of standing up for his council district, because that's what he did. He was a very good friend. He was a good man. And I want to ask Anne Marie Vallone to come up and accept the award on behalf of her husband. I can't tell that story exactly the way it was.
Thank you. I'm just going to be really short. I apologize. Just a heartfelt thank you to District Attorney Melinda Katz for the service award for my husband. I don't know if I'm allowed to go off record, but I really think they were besties, but I just wanted to say that. Our family is grateful and appreciative for this recognition and honor. We're very proud of Paul and all of his commitment, his dedication to community service, especially for being during his term as councilman and deputy commissioner of Veteran Services. He advocated for benefits for all the men and women who served our country and worked tirelessly for services for their families. And he also wanted to make sure that they had all the support they needed. My husband has been gone for almost 4 months, and we miss him every day and always will. But it's ceremonies like this that brings us peace and comfort, and we want to thank you so much for this tribute and honoring him. Thank you.
He will be missed. At this time, we would like to recognize, as we do every year, the men and women who served our nation and are no longer with us. This wreath placing signifies our recognition and appreciation for those who lost their lives in service to America, as well as those who have succumbed to the long-term effects of defending our interests around the world. I will now ask our invited officials to join me for the memorial wreath placement. Once the wreath is placed, we will perform taps. Yeah, sure. I'm going to organize.
Okay, well, let me know what I'm doing. Help me out here.
The other side. Keep going.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everyone who placed the wreath. I'd like to call upon, and I want to thank Darren Wilkes. He actually works in the DA's office too. He is, so Darren continues to serve our city by going around, not only working on cases, but he works with the elderly to make sure that they are not getting ripped off. And he goes around and educates on fraud and elder issues. So I want to thank him for his service and for his bugling services today as well. Can I call upon Lauren Wilkes to sing God Bless America, please?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you. Please, I didn't realize that. So that's Darren's daughter, right? Wilkes, right. I got it. I did not know that before today. Very nice. Music runs in the family. Father Antonio Macarius of the St. Mary and St. Antonio's Coptic Orthodox Church in Ridgewood, I'd like to ask you to do the benediction, please. Thank you.
Dear God, as we gather to honor the brave men and women who have given their lives in service to our country, we come to you with grateful hearts. We remember the sacrifices they made, the families they left behind, and the freedom they fought to protect. We pray for comfort and peace for those who grieve, for strength and courage for those who continue to serve, and for wisdom and guidance for our leaders. May we never forget the price that has been paid for our freedom, and may we always strive to live in a way that honors the sacrifices of those who have come before us. Finally, may the Lord bless you all, keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Please be seated just for a moment. I want to do a special thank you to Francis Lewis High School Junior ROTC. I want to thank the Father for the benediction and the Pujari for the invocation. I want to thank Lauren Wilkes again for singing and Darren Wilkes for bugling. And thank you to everyone that was involved here today, and also the Parks Department. I guess I just want to end on a little personal note. It is the 30th year that I'm serving this community. I'm very proud of the work that we have done in the last 30 years. I'm even more proud of the work we've done over the last 4.5 years with Jen Nyberg as the Chief Assistant and my entire office, many of whom joined us today, and they understand the importance of learning about the community and being out here to celebrate and to mourn with the community. I give once again, as I like doing, because I have a microphone, and not everyone has a microphone. So with my microphone, I will say thank you for all of your service. Thank you for whatever you did in order to protect this country, for all the time that you spent away from your family, for all of the brothers that you lost and sisters you might have lost in any war that has happened, for the safety and for the protection of this country. I and my family and my office will forever be in your debt. Welcome home. Thank you.
Thank you for being our DA.
Oh, that is my honor, truthfully. Thank you. All right, while we're clapping, can we give Dan Brown another round of applause? Poor guy has to deal with me every day, you know? He should get some thanks. Okay, thank you, everybody, please. I'm going to move this so we can do photos if anybody wants to. Okay.